Oh, hello there. Yes, well, bit of a damp squib of a July. Yes, whatever a squib is. Presumably it's quite damp. Anyway, yes, today, as promised, just a brief discussion about the USA. Now, you may well have been hearing some things about Project 25, which has come out of the esteemed Heritage Foundation in the USA. It's been getting quite a lot of press coverage, which has kind of accelerated because on Monday we start the Republican National Congress, where your friend and mine, Donald Trump, will no doubt be rubber stamped through as their prospective candidate for the November elections. All well and good. Now, what Project 25 is a massive 600 odd page blueprint as to just some ideas as to what Donald Trump might do in office. And people that have looked at this, and I've had a bit of a glance at it, in particular the education section, are a little bit alarmed by it because it's everything on every single right-winger's, libertarian right-winger's wish list that they could possibly go. So whilst the Heritage Foundation categorically state that the various things that people claim are in it aren't in it, it looks like they are in it. Donald Trump has sought to distance himself from it. It's another one of those ones whereby it's a document that he knows nothing about, but at the same time he disagrees with the large parts of it. Odd that. Anyway, we will see. One of the things to think about with the Heritage Foundation, number one, is they are very, very, very heavily tied in with the rest of the American libertarian monies, particularly the Koch brothers. If you want a guide to that, you can read Democracy in Chains by good old Nancy MacLean. Highly recommend it to you in terms of looking at it. These people think in decades ahead, and they have been thinking for a long period of time, decades ahead, about what they will do if they get into power. Now, the problem that Trump had last time was they didn't expect to win the election. So consequently, they arrived not having the machinery to be able to do lots of things they wanted to. A lot of people in the States are determined not to make that particular mistake again. So they have provided this as a nice blueprint, which somebody may or may not decide to pick up on. But it is very, very similar to an awful lot of things that Donald Trump has anyway been saying, particularly the authoritarian parts of it. Now, I've provided some links down below. There's John Oliver on it. There's the Lincoln Project on it. If you just want to watch something, there's the complete document itself, as well as a couple of newspaper articles like from The Guardian about it. You can believe this stuff if you want to, but it's entirely plausible. The Heritage Foundation have been highly influential on previous presidents, particularly Ronald Reagan, in terms of policy initiatives. And there's no reason to believe that they won't be pushing very heavily, bearing in mind it's drafted by quite a few Trump ex-staffers as well, that they'll push this stuff through. In which case, we could have in January an incredibly authoritarian breakdown of American democracy, not to put it too lightly. It would be intriguing to see the way that the British right-wing press would react to that in particular, because the knowledge in November that we will have a Trump presidency, and one that's likely to be at least visibly fascist looking in the way that it conducts itself, will have an enormous impact, for example, on the leadership election of the Conservative Party, as well as the uppityness of certain members for Clacton in Parliament. So, we will see about that. Anyway, do have a look at the documents below. Get yourself up to speed on that. Lots of people will say, no, it won't be as bad as that. And yet, of course, we know that it will be. And it'll be intriguing to see in the future various people in this country, if this stuff comes to pass, making excuses for it. No doubt the word excesses will come to the fore with people like Melanie Phillips, because after all, occasionally there are excesses and you just have to go with that because it's for the greater good. Oh yes, the greater good. Anyway, do enjoy having a look at those, and yes, have a, well, dryish day if you can.